So I'm going to recommend we have a couple of blocks. And if you don't have blocks, cushions will do. Rolled up blankets will do. Something that we can think about when we sit on a chair is what does posture look like? And I think most of us would agree posture is, from one perspective, how vertical the body is. How stacked is the head over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips, and if you were standing, hips over the knees, knees over the ankles. And because we have a little right angle bend when we sit, what happens to our posture from the waist down? From the waist down. So this is where the blocks or the cushions can come in handy. If you take a block on its side between the feet, and make sure the feet are grounded, so that means sitting towards the front of your stool. And even though my feet are grounded, when they're adjacent to the block, when they butt up to the block, you can see my feet are parallel. Now, the knees could come apart like this and I could tip onto the edges of my feet. So in terms of seated posture, that's not going to work. My knees could come together, so I'm squeezing the adductors and creating a little pigeon-toed effect with the feet. And once again, that's going to create postural misalignment over time. So I remedy that by taking a second block and gently bringing it between the thighs and the knees. Now it's a black block against black pants, so you might not be able to see it here. So what I'm going to do is grab a blanket that has colors, so you can see how I use a blanket to get the same effect. I'll just create the blanket fold, bring it between the thighs like so. And it's still a little thin, so I'm going to make it a little thicker. Much better. Now the blanket is heavier than the block, so if I let go of the pressure, what will happen is my blanket will drop. So we're training ourselves not to let the blanket drop, or the block. So there's a light pressure, a light pressure. There's a light pressure of the feet against the block. And from this position, if I stood up, if I chose to stand up, my knees and ankles would align with the hip bones, which would align with the shoulders and keeping the head. So now that we've got the lower body established, make a little effort to lift the toes up, but keep the balls of the feet grounded. So you add a little tension into the arch of the foot. So even though we're seated, we're training the arches of the feet to help our posture. You see, when we let the arches get soft and collapse, it creates a lot of postural misalignment. Just let your arches relax right now and feel how comfortable that feels. I like to call that gravity's seduction. Gravity seduces us to let go of tension in the body, so we slump. And you can let the arches slump, which feels kind of nice. If I didn't have my towel between the thighs, the slumped arches would bring my knees together and create misalignment in the hips. So lift the toes, feel the arches lift up. You can let the toes come back down, but keep that little tension in the arches. So you're exercising the arches even though you're seated on the chair. And then come to your sit bones on the chair and just gently rock from side to side. And if it feels a little fleshy between the sit bones, you can always pull the flesh to the side, make it a little bonier, so that the bones of the sit bones inform you the left and right weighting. And then think about the sit bones as being the same as the feet. So the sit bones, when you were a fetus, grew into legs and ended up at the feet. So the sit bones and the feet are intimately connected. So with your feet, gently rock from side to side until you feel the left side of the foot, the right side of the foot equally balanced. And that's another way to activate the arches. When you were talking about posture, you probably weren't expecting quite so much detail. Rolodex the hips forward and backward. And as you do that, notice as the hips roll forward, the low back arches, and as the hips roll backwards, you round the back, the abdominals tighten. Close your eyes and feel your range of motion and see if you can find the position midway between those two extremes. And then just create a slight forward bias, just a little bit. As you inhale, let the sit bones push down into the chair. And as you exhale, lift the heart up, lift the shoulders up towards the ears, like you're trying to pull the ribs up. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulders. Keep the shoulders back, relax them a little bit, and bring the back of the hands onto the thighs, elbows close to the rib cage. Keeping the length you just created in the spine requires vigilance. As soon as you relax, you tend to slump. You tend to either round the back, or usually rounding the back is where we go. So keep that little bias forward, pelvis tilted forward. Each time you exhale, lift the heart up. And then from the heart to the top of the head, gently bring the hands behind the back of the head and push the back of the head into the hands. So this is where we want the head. We want the back of the neck long. So the chin is neutral, not lifted. It's not dropped. Release the hands, bring them back to the legs. Keep the head back and up. So arches lifted, gently squeezing between the thighs. Hips just forward of neutral. Ribs lifted back, shoulders back and down, back of the neck lengthened. And now with all that going on, let's relax the face. Relax the face and relax the skin. So when you find good posture, you want to relax the skin as if the skin is a silk cloak draped over the bones. Let it hang. Let the skin relax. Let all the postural lift come from the muscle, sinew, ligaments, tendons, and bones inside the body, from the fascia. But let the skin be very, very soft. So we're not carrying the tension into the skin. Then gently lift the corners of the mouth, Mona Lisa smile. Gently seal the lips so you're breathing in and out of the nose. Imagine you're a statue, gently breathing. Notice how open the lungs are today, the nostrils, the airway. And feel the effort you're making right now to find good posture. At the end of the class, we'll compare the effort to find good posture after we've stretched and awoken the body, after we've strengthened. But right now, at the beginning of class, it takes effort. Let each new breath become a little deeper. On the next inhale, bring the hands behind the back. Grab the back of the chair. Gently squeeze the shoulder blades. Tilt the pelvis forward. Arch the low back. Lift the chin up. And feel that back bend. Feel the breath in a back bend. Exhale, release the hands and bring the arms out to the side. Bend the elbows and imagine you're trying to wrap your arms around a big tree in front of you. Drop the chin towards the chest. Let the shoulder blades come apart. Keep the elbows bent. Keeping that wrap. Let the fingertips touch. Rounding the back. Feeling what it's like to breathe when we come into a forward bend. And let's connect those two movements. Inhale, reach back, lift the chin, feel the arch. Exhale, round and hug the tree, drop the chin, let the shoulder blades come apart, draw the navel in. Moving back and forth. Between the inhale and the exhale. Good. The next time you come back into the inhale, hold and breathe. Hold the back bend for 3, 2. Exhale, come back to neutral for a moment. Lift the arches of the feet. Notice your posture. Notice if it's a little easier to find good posture after a back bend. And then start to rock from side to side. Let the ear come down towards the shoulder so you feel the neck starting to sway from side to side with the spine. The neck, of course, is part of the spine. Let the arms dangle. And really allow the arms to relax as you sway from side to side. So you feel the tension between the neck and the shoulder release. And then carefully start to touch the back of the head on the opposite side to the lean. And synchronize this movement with your breathing. So as you exhale, you lean. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, lean. Inhale, etc. Just moving from side to side. And some of you might like to add that rainbow effect. That's going to add a little more intensity to the obliques, strengthening the side body. Very important for posture. And then inhale back to neutral. Close the eyes. Notice how it is to hold good posture. Feet parallel, hip width distance apart, arches lifted. Ribs lifted, shoulders back and down, back of the neck long. And then coming into the rotation, take your left hand behind the back, either hold the chair or the waistline of the pants, and bring that left shoulder back and flap it a few times like a wing. Try to keep the chin over the chest so you're not cranking the neck. The neck's not coming into the twist the same way as the shoulders are. Hold that left shoulder back, left shoulder now pulling you into the thoracic twist. Right hand comes across the body, gently anchoring to your pants or leg. Roll the shoulders back and down as best as you can. Keep the chin off the chest. Keep that left wing back. And then turn the head to the right, gently. Inhale, neutral. Exhale the head to the left. So moving the neck very safely, left and right. So even in a twist, you're thinking about your posture. You're not letting the posture escape. You're not slumping. You're still trying to sit up nice and tall. And noticing how that affects the turning of the neck. The next time you come to neutral, pause, release the anchor points, the hands, come back to neutral and feel your posture. So throughout the class, we'll keep coming back to that posture, noticing if it's any different or if it's easier or if it feels more accessible without so much effort. Lift the arches of the feet, take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring that right hand behind, anchoring, right wing back, and then keeping the chin over the chest. Flap your right wing a little bit. Feel that thoracic rotation. Then hold the wing back. Lift up, shoulders back and down, chin away from the chest. Exhaling, turning the head to the left. Inhale, neutral. Exhale to the right, swiveling from side to side. And work in the range of motion before you feel pain. So you might start to feel discomfort, that's fine. But don't go past discomfort. So you give the neck a lot of TLC, turning left and right. Inhale, neutral, gently release. Lift the arches, find the sit bones, lift the ribs, shoulders roll back and down, palms face up, elbows close to the ribs. Lengthen through the spine, right up through the roof of the mouth, the crown of the head. Soften the face and let the skin flow downwards. Like those beautiful waterfalls or fountains where the water just spurts up through the middle and just cascades down the outside. And then gently open the eyes. Let's remove the props so the blanket or the blocks can now go out away from the body. So we free up that little tension you've created on the internal thighs. Take the hands for a moment and just massage from the knee back into the internal thigh, stimulating that area that's been tense. Come onto the quadriceps, up and down. And then maybe creating little fists and rubbing your knuckles on the outside of the thighs, that IT band area, and then coming under the hamstrings. So giving the thighs a little bit of circulation after all that squeezing action. And let's work the core of the body, the abdominals and the hip flexors, so we start to appreciate just how much they're part of the postural alignment. And you probably remember in the olden days where girdles were used to pull the core in like this, giving that nice postural alignment. So we've got to create our own inner girdle here, just through some little work here. So we'll start by marching on the spot, lifting the knee up. And we'll give the back of the legs a little love here. So the next time you lift the right knee up, pause and hold, gently kick it out. Bring it back and down. Lift the left knee, kick it out and down. If that's too hard on the abdominals, grab the chair for support. See how that feels with support. Some of you might like to add a little more abdominal stress by bringing the hands behind the head. So you have to find good posture here as you extend the leg out. That's going to put more stress on the stability of the core to hold the spine in good position. Exhale, release, find your posture. Imagine you have the blocks between your legs and feet. Lift the arches, come to the edge of the chair. Shoulders roll back and down, elbows close in, ribs lift, back of the neck lifts. Soften the face, soften the skin. Mona Lisa smile. Now take a moment to peek. Just peek, just gently open the eyes and look at your legs. Just see what they're up to. Notice if the feet are rotated in or out, if the knees are bowed or outwards. Just notice. Realign the feet, try to get that nice even quality. And then feel your posture again. Gently straddle the legs into a wide V. Toes point out. Hands on the edges of where the thighs meet the knee. And gently drop the right shoulder and look down at your left foot. Keep the right arm straight so you're pushing that left thigh away, creating a little stretch on the adductor, which has been working pretty solidly since we began. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, the other side. Push that straight arm into that left thigh. Bend the right elbow. Bring your head down towards the foot. So you're hinging forward here towards that right foot. Inhale, come up. Let's try that a few times each side. You can stay in the forward hinge as long as you like. You can come up whenever you like, and you can go as deep as you like. And I'm noticing one side is very, very different to the other side right here. And then bringing the feet a little bit closer, not too much. Grab a block or a blanket that's rolled up. And we're just going to do some oblique work here, getting core strength here for our posture. Take that block down to the left side, and you can see I'm just touching it on the mat between my hands, just touching it, and then I'm going to lift it up and place it on a shelf above my right shoulder. Plop. So that little core action, I come down again, pick up another box, lift it up, and put it on the shelf over that right shoulder. So we're just working that one side for now. Move at the speed that feels right for you. In fact, whatever speed feels right for you, slow it down a little bit. Slow it down a little bit. So you're not moving quite as fast as you would at your comfortable pace. And that slowing down is going to require more strength, removing the momentum of the twist. So that's going to make your core work a little harder. And you might find that as you come down, you're exhaling. As you lift up, inhaling. The next time you put that box up on the shelf on your right side, pause. Hold the block between the thighs, or with the hands. Find your posture with the legs widened out. And feel the impact on the left side of the rib cage, the side that's been crunching. So that's a great core workout, doing those twisting crunches. And then prepare for the other side. Bring that block down to the other side. Feel how the muscles respond. So on the left side of the body there, stretching, the right side are crunching. Inhale, lift up. Place it above that left shoulder back as far as you can. And then start to move at the speed of your breath or slower. Really developing that suppleness in the spine that's so essential for good posture. And for those who are looking for more strength work over time, instead of using a block, you might use a 3-pound weight and build up the weights over time. One more box. Exhale, neutral, putting the block to one side, come back to postural alignment. Arches lifted. Peek down at the legs, make sure they're aligned, hip width distance apart, thighs parallel, feet parallel, arches lifted, sit bones even, pelvis slight tilt forward, ribs lifted, shoulders back and down, elbows close to the ribs, lengthen through the spine, back of the head, and let the skin cascade. Let the skin relax. Mona Lisa smile and feel the breath. And once again, noticing the effort that you're putting into posture when you warm the body, strengthen the body, and stretch the body. Hopefully you're feeling it becomes a little more natural. It's not so artificial. And then Inhaling, bringing the hands back to the seat of the chair. Lean back and extend the legs out. Curl the toes back. Give a nice stretch to the calf muscles here. The more you stretch those legs out, the more you might feel the buttocks lift up off the chair. You come into that nice reverse plank. Strengthening the low back, stretching the calves, squeeze the butt, strengthen the triceps. And when you're ready, come back down. Cross the right knee over the left shin. Slide that right ankle up over the left knee if you can. If you cannot, you could grab a strap and gently hook it around that right shin. And you could hold it up and then bring it up and just hold it as high as you can. Otherwise, bending the left knee, you come into your figure four. Left hand grabs that right foot, squeezes fingers and toes together. Sit up tall. Right hand rests against that right thigh. Lift the ribs and exhale, gently hinge forward. Coming into the piriformis. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, hinge forward. Hang out here for a few breaths. Inhale, sit up. And then just noticing, can your hands pick that leg up and bring it back towards your chest and back down onto the leg. So you're picking the figure four up, bringing it back to the chest. That's it, good. And then dropping that a foot down, open that right knee out to the right and back. Open, inhale, exhale, close, still working the right leg, the right hip. Remember, you can push against the opening or the closing of the thigh with your hand, and that's going to create core stability, strength, which is tremendous for the posture. The next time you open, sit that right foot on the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor, you can bring a block under the foot and set the foot on the block. Look at your right knee, line it up with the toes, straighten the left leg. Now, that may mean coming closer to the edge of your chair, and that left foot is now extended out away from you, stretching the internal adductor. Try to ground down the entire left foot, so the pinky toe now is working to stay grounded. If you cannot ground that left foot, make the angle between the legs a little less intense until you can get that left outer ankle stretching enough to bring the pinky toe down. The further back you come, the more intense it will be. And you can always stand and use the back of the chair for warrior two as well. Check in with that right knee and right toes again. Make sure they're aligned. Good, that looks good. And then exhale, turn the head to the left behind you. Turn the head to the right. So just rotating the neck left and right. Feel what it's like to twist in Warrior Two. Twist the thoracic, the neck, the cervical spine. The next time you look over that left shoulder, float the left hand out parallel to the ground. Keep the shoulders somewhat relaxed, but have a nice steady hand. Imagine that your hand is on the crown of the head of a child, and you're just reassuring them. So it's not heavy on their head, it's just lightly touching the top of their head. Turn the head to the right, and there's another child there. Just put your hand lightly on their head as well. And feel that opening in the hips. Exhale, gently release. Float the hands down, grab the seat of the chair. Allow the legs to come back together. Now, push the sit bones forward, grab the back of the seat of the chair, extend both legs out. Curling the toes back more, push through the heels more, keep pushing through the legs. Maybe your butt comes off the chair, reverse plank. And then exhale, come back to the chair, left ankle over that right ankle, slide it up, bend that right knee, figure four, opposite side. Sit up nice and tall here. Let the fingers of the right hand intermingle with the toes of the left foot, so you feel the digits having a little gathering here, a little powwow. And then exhale, hinge forward, keeping the chin off the chest, not rounding. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, hinge forward. So just feeling the awakening of the piriformis on that left hip. Not overdoing it. Just being very compassionate towards the hips, the thighs as you come forward. Staying as long as you like, coming up whenever you like, just really getting into that left hip. The next time you inhale, start to use the arms by bringing that left shin up towards your ribs or your chest, or for the super flexible, wrapping it behind your neck. And that's a nice bicep workout there as you squeeze it in. You'll feel that in the wrists. You'll feel that in the forearms. So a nice arm strengthener. It's like you're picking up a weight here, a little bar. So how's our posture going to get better? It's only going to get better when we notice it and respond to its needs. So strengthening, aligning, range of motion. Exhale, release that foot. So in 3 words, the only way posture gets better is practice, 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 right? There you go. Only through practice. Let's practice opening and closing that left thigh, adding resistance whenever you like. But it is wonderful, very inspiring in my work to see older people who've practiced, they keep practicing even when life gets more challenging, to see people in their 80s and 90s looking very posturally right. They make that effort, they turn up, taking care of the body. Very inspiring. I think the oldest person I taught, she was 98, and she was amazing. The oldest yoga teacher in New York City, I believe, is 102. She's a teacher. Hello? What? There's hope for us yet. The next time you open, knee aligns with toes. Find good posture here. Find yourself sitting up, either staying on the chair or coming off. Extend that right leg. Warrior two. Notice what it feels like on this side. Remembering to ground down in that pinky toe area. And let's start with the neck twists, left and right. Feeling the cervical spine turning side to side. Remembering to smile every now and then. The next time that head turns to the back shoulder, the right shoulder, float out, gently touch the top of your child reassuringly. Turn the head to the left. Gently spreading the fingers out, the hands out. Breathing, smiling, strengthening the legs, lifting the arches of the feet. Exhale, release. Gently unwind. Now we're going to try and do something today that I don't know if I've worked with you on this. If your chair feels very firm on your sticky mat, then that's good. If it's on a floor or a carpet, it's likely to move. You might want to consider having a chair up against a wall or a non-moving obstacle like a bench. So we're going to come off the chair. I'm going to bring my chair to the top of the mat with the seat facing me. And then leaning into the chair, step the right foot forward, left knee comes down into a kneeling position, and then another kneeling position, and then down onto the floor, onto the sit bones. And I think most of you have tried, successfully or otherwise, to bring the legs up onto the chair. So we kind of know this resting position, but we're going to do something a little different here. We're going to do a little bit more core work on the back. And if the chair doesn't cooperate with you, I'll show you a version without the chair. So let's try the chair first. Make sure it feels stable. And bend your knees so the feet come back to the front of the edge of the chair. If you straightened your legs, you'd push the chair over, which if you're against the wall, that won't happen. So the goal is, rather than straighten the legs by pushing them away, is to push down on the edge of the chair so your pelvis comes up off the ground. And you might be able to see what I'm doing there. So the pelvis comes off the ground and you're lifting up. Now you can hold up or you can lower down and rest, and then inhale, push up and come up again. And if that does not work for you, if your chair is just too dodgy, come away from the chair and simply do it without the chair. So you're lifting the pelvis up into bridge pose with the feet flat on the floor. So two different experiences. One is bridge, feet on the chair or the couch or whatever, and the other is... Now the difference between the two is when you use the chair and come up as nice and high like this, you roll into the shoulder blades and the neck, which can be very soothing and releasing of the upper back and the neck. And you can also do this against the wall. I'll show you how to do it against the wall. Against the wall, you have your feet against the wall and you lift up by lifting the heels off the wall and come down. So that also can be another alternative if you'd like to try it against the wall, or a strong unmoving cupboard or doorway. So building core strength here for our posture. The next time you lift up, pause, hold. If you feel confident, you can lift one foot into the air. Check your toenails and then replace it, other foot in the air. And then exhale, gently come down and shuttle your buttocks closer to the chair so you can rest the calf muscles on the seat of the chair. Relax the shoulder blades into the mat. Let the belly become soft. And see if you can find a leg position where your legs feel totally supported. And you start to feel the arch in the low back dissolve into the mat. So all that work we just did on the low back can relax and let go. If for some reason the legs elevated on the chair doesn't work for you, consider bringing them off the chair and coming into a traditional Shavasana on the back, or the side of the body curled up into a little ball. And some people even like to do Shavasana on the belly. Lots of ways to explore this final relaxation. So up until now we've been creating effort in our posture to lift and lengthen. But when we're horizontal, it's time to surrender to gravity, to allow the body to gently sink, to let the skin be soft still, but also the bones, the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, the fascia, the teeth, the skull and the brain, everything starting to soften, just like ice starts to melt and becomes softer like water. Feel that expansion. Every now and then, allowing your attention to drift back to the breath, to notice how you're breathing in this posture. Relax even more. Let your attention come back to the breath. Gently bring the knees back towards the chest. Hug the knees, gently rock from side to side. And gently roll to one side. Press up to a seated position. And then using the chair, let the chair support you as you come up. So you come up nice and slowly, maybe knees first and then 1 foot forward. So still staying with that relaxed state of Shavasana. And then come to a seated position at the edge of the chair. And as you find the edge of the chair, remembering back to the beginning of the class, all the little cues to find posture, this time finding posture in the same way but with a very relaxed feel. So gently lift the arches, line up the feet, thighs, gently balance the sit bones, gently lift up through the ribs, shoulders back and down, resting the hands, palm face up. Let the back of the neck gently lengthen, keeping the face soft, skin soft. And notice the different way we can come into good posture, keeping a relaxation in the body, not having to fight against the tightness in the body, not having to overcome the cold muscles, but in that warm, open, stronger body, being able to keep the posture with a gentleness. Feeling the breath. As you bring the hands together at the chest in gratitude for our posture and for each other and for our practice. ... Namaste.
Good class.
Thank you.